Hello, learners. I welcome you back to your educational channel, Learn and Educate. Now, we are going to study a few basics about foreign exchange management. We will study up about Foreign Exchange Management Act so as to be familiar with the essentials of foreign exchange laws of India. Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999 consolidates and amends the law relating to the procedures maintenance of foreign exchange in India. The foreign exchange management was before 2000 was managed by Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. This was done. Foreign Exchange Management Regulation Act was replaced in 1998 by the government of Atal Bihari Vajpayee and replaced by the Foreign Exchange Management Act, which liberalized the foreign exchange controls and the restrictions on the foreign investments. In order to relax the controls on the foreign exchange in India, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act was replaced. The objective of the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act was to conserve foreign exchange resources which badly affected the comfortable foreign exchange reserves. The reserves in India were affected just because of the restrictions put on by the FERA Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. So the FEMA came into force. The foreign exchange management in India, the regulation it regulated the foreign capital in India. The FERA was replaced. The Foreign Exchange Management Act introduced as the replacement for the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, as the act could not survive the post-liberalization policies. The policies incorporated in the 1991 of liberalization, globalization, privatization. The offences in the FERA which were criminalized were criminal and were shifted to civil offences in FEMA. The facilities of the government bodies, the RBI and the central bank given by them these bodies were continued in the Foreign Exchange Management Act. FEMA has was compatible with the liberalization policies of the government of India. The business enterprises, when imported goods from other countries and exported to the goods to other countries, the medium of the exchange is not a domestic currency but the global accepted domestic international currency. For making investments in foreign exchange in foreign markets, for purchasing shares or stocks of the foreign multinational corporations, the investors needs to have the adequate funds. The investors must have adequate amount of the currency which is accepted by the investee of the other countries. The currency accepted in those countries must be available with their banking systems. The foreign currency loans raised in India by residents outside India. The foreign currency loans raised in the abroad by the Indian citizens are in the currency which is not Indian rupee. It is dollar, euros, bond, Great Britain pounds. Business associations, while selling its products to business entities of foreign countries, receives or expected to receive the foreign country which is in circulation is of most importance. When business enterprises make investments abroad, it deals in foreign exchanges. This is related with the trade and commerce of the domestic as well as international trade. Then why there is need to introduce the foreign exchange management just to encourage foreign investments for the purpose of altering the assets and liabilities, buying the assets, creating the liabilities, investment by persons resident in India, the foreign securities, encouraging foreign investments, foreign currency loans raised in India and abroad by person who is resident in India. Then to liberalize the foreign exchange controls, why it was needed just because of transfer of immovable property outside India by person resident in India. When a person transfers immovable property from one country to another, from one region to another, who is resident in India, for that purpose, there is a need to liberalize foreign exchange controls. Guarantee issued by a person resident in India in favor of a person who is outside India. Export, importing, holding of any currency or a currency notes, loans, overdrafts by a person resident in India from a person resident outside India. Maintenance of foreign currency accounts in India and outside India by a person resident in India. To liberalize the restrictions on the foreign investments, the restrictions, the ceiling, the amount of which can only be deposited or withdrawn, to liberalize the restrictions on the foreign investments, to regulate the transactions of persons who are resident in India. When a person resident in India maintains a foreign currency account in India and outside India, to maintain the transaction of persons, when is a loan transaction, overdraft transactions made by a person who is resident in India from a person outside India, guarantees issued by a person resident in India to the other persons outside India, investments made by a person resident in India in the foreign countries. RBI also regulates the import, export, and holding of the currency or currency notes. Acquisition or transfer of immovable property other than the lease, which is exceeding 5 years by a person resident in India. RBI or other authorities also regulates, prohibits, restricts the establishment in India of a branch or office or place of business by a person resident outside India for carrying on activity relating to such branch offices or any other places of businesses. Loan or overdraft by a person resident in India to a person who is resident outside India. To regulate the transaction of persons of a resident of India. For planning mergers and acquisition across nations, cross-border mergers, which has been covered under Section 230 to 240 of the Companies Act 2013, to export products in the nature of artisans or goods having a geographical indications. These are special IPR goods, intellectual holding intellectual property rights goods, which are only produced in the regions in India, just to make the indigenous factories. This has helps in promoting the indigenous, the cottage industries of India, the artistic product, the artisans. For example, the cottage, which involves the use of very specialized skills to make the products, and it may specifically made handmade products, just to promote that the Foreign Exchange Management Act need to came into force. Just they to promote their well-being, to export products in the nature of artisans, goods having geographical indications. This helps in promoting the indigenous manufacturers to prosper, to increase the credibility of the country in the international markets. In the international markets, when the guarantee given by a person importing, exporting the currency notes, to increase the credibility of the domestic industry in the international market, there is a need to regulate the foreign exchange.